Linnea is the least contact that I've had since I've been here. We have done a little bit of email exchange, but typically when we get to this point, we have the host mom has contacted, Lisa has contacted Linnea, which happened, and told her a little bit about the event and what was going to go on. And then I have then called and consulted with Linnea, and she has sent me her images of her home. And we had a stairwell, is that right?
Yep.
Yes. So she had a stairwell that we put something together for, and I sent over that grouping of images for her to view already, and or not images, but the framing on the wall. And so we chatted about that a little bit just via email. We really haven't communicated a whole lot, so this will be pretty like down and dirty, sitting down for the first time to view images.
And so has she chosen the package already that she is going to?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see the different options. And
Now, did I send you packages?
no.
So we've communicated that little.
Okay.
So normally,
yeah.
normally she would have gotten the packages already, and I'll just share the packages with you. We've got, and actually you can see them all here today in real life instead of just in the menu. But we've got package A, which is going to be 3 10x10s. And you also get 2 desk portraits with it, which is like these size portraits and all the ones behind you, and those do come framed.
And I'm sorry, the image is 10x10 or the frame?
The image is 10x10, so it's going to be bigger overall. With your wall and the piece of paper that you sent on your wall, I've got the exact size of that space, and so when you see the frame groupings on the wall, they're exactly how you're going to see them once they're hung. So you don't have to guess on sizes.
Sure, that's helpful.
So those are 3 10x10s. And package B is going to be 3 8x12s, and those can be all hung vertically. They can all stack horizontally, depending on the situation. Where she is in her home, I actually suggested package C for her, which is a 16x20 and 2 10x10s. And again, each one of these comes with the 2 desktop framed prints. But for your wall, this would be the grouping that I suggested going up the stairs. And I also thought it would be nice to actually add one more 10x10 just to kind of complete that forward motion up the stairs.
Yeah.
But that's always something that you could add later as well.
That's helpful because I feel like stairs have always been difficult as to how to angle, because I feel like a straight on wall sometimes. But so it's helpful to see.
Yeah. So and you had to use your imagination a little bit because the stairway
Yeah,
was in front of there. No, but just for you to be able to visualize, like you said, you know, you can kind of see what that would look like. And now we'll show you with images actually in those frames. So, so that'll be great too. So and then package D is going to be the 16x24 and 3 8x8s underneath, which also, you know, any of these mixed together. We do have people that end up with 2 packages, and you can group them or you can move into a different room. We just have that one space from you to design, so I really felt like that moving up the stairway would work really well for you. Do you have any other thoughts looking at this?
No, I mean, I love the one that you picked out. I like that they're different sizes too.
Okay.
I like that.
Well, great. And even looking at this, kind of what I would envision, and you can tell me what you think, but you know, having one of the 2 kids together and the larger one, and then one of each of them alone, and then if you went with that 4th piece to move up the stairway, we could continue it with another of the 2 of them.
Yeah, definitely.
So okay, well, we'll look at that, and then there are also, of course, we can frame any size, and the desk prints, we do a lot of that, and then the albums and the image boxes. So if there's some images that you can't live without, we definitely have some product for that.
Definitely.
So if you don't mind, I'm just going to interrupt you with questions kind of breaking the wall, the 4th wall of this, what would be the live interaction. So just to remind folks again, normally, when would you have had that conversation, and then would she have chosen the package, and do they ever come in and change which package they've chosen?
If they change the package, it's going to be a lot like the last session that we did, where it's just a matter of sizes. So, or I guess it would be orientation almost, because we had chosen square frames, and then she ended up with vertical images, so we needed to go with the 8x12s. Excuse me, those 2 packages actually cost the same, and so that's not going to affect her as far as what she saw in the menu. Like I told you guys, all of the packages are like right at $1,000. There's
so the difference is mainly the options of the
just
frames
what you choose.
themselves,
The two A and B are 960, and the C and D are 1080 and 1200. So they're all pretty close depending on the size, and then they all come with those two smaller framed prints. But what happens is when we're talking, when they're seeing packages, it's not saying it's a 16 by 20 and two 10 by 10s. That in someone's mind makes no sense.
Right.
But when we're talking about decorating a space and completing something that's your decor for your room, and it's something that you love and cherish and want everybody else to know this is important, you know, that's when it starts making sense. That this is about designing my home around my, you know, what's important to me. It's not about spending $1,000 on pictures. That doesn't make sense to anybody. It doesn't even make sense to me. So now, typically we've been through that process, and then I'm going to sit down with Mom and I'm going to tell her, we're just going to flip through images now, and we'll go through them one time and just see everything. If there's something right away that you think, nah, let's get rid of that, you know, these are straight out of the camera, so there's going to be some blinks and some things that we're not going to hold on to. Also, if something is a real favorite, you're going to want to let me know that too. Okay. But we'll go through them one more time after we go through the first time. I just want you to get a feel for everything we got the first time through. Okay. So we will click on this first one here. And everything we photographed, when you get it, they're going to be perfect. So we'll do the retouching and, you know, lightening up anything that we need to lighten up as we go. So you're just going to see them as they are. And I'm going to move through here.
I feel like I'm going to love all of them. It's really hard to narrow it down.
That's a very typical response. And I think, you know what, I am going to go back here and actually do a different view. What's this one? Okay, let's do this. Crop into that a little bit. Okay, now we're ready to roll. So we will, and I'm actually, you guys, as I go, I'm going to just kind of rate as I go. I switched to the comparison view because I can just rate right in the comparison view. I'm going to make this one I made it a 1 star, which is actually a no, the way that it's set up in this particular sink. So we're going to make that work. So, but I'm going to let you roll too. So,
so if you do a 1 star and I say no, I love it, I should speak up. Okay.
Yeah. So, and this first time through really is just a quick view of everything.
Okay.
And we can keep, you know, most things just as they are, just so that you can see as we go through. Okay. All right. And again, we'll zoom in a little bit. And I know we've got stuff of Eva looking at us, so I'm going to make that a 1.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, I love that she's looking.
Like that one. And I feel like this is taking me backwards. Let's see, that is going to be one we like. So was that. We're going to say no to that one. We'll say yes to that one. And I'm actually choosing forward for her as we go. And honestly, that's one of those things that just going through and actually saying that, if she doesn't agree with me, she's going to say so. I'm at this point only getting rid of the things that really are no's. When it comes down to the next time through, I'm going to let her take the ball and say which ones that she loves. So I like that one too.
Because you know what you've already captured too, right? You kind of know probably what's coming.
Yep. And that's a real typical thing too. They kind of, you know, you trust me.
Yeah.
So we can give her those suggestions. And here too, I know we've got some great expressions. Eva looks great there, but we'll put that in the maybes. How about that?
And I think that's a great point that that Lori has seen sort of the whole spectrum of them, whereas you're seeing them one by one for the first time. So kind of defaulting to her for that first round where Lori knows kind of the prospect of the whole thing. That was a great point.
All right, I'm going to go back to this because it keeps rotating me back to those same 4 images. All right, I've already categorized these.
And do you always send the mom and or dad away into a different room? And
normally at an event, I'm photographing outside, and so you'd be inside with the host mom chatting, having fun, and looking at stuff. So it's a little bit different process. You don't feel like you're in a back room alone, sending your children away.
No. I mean, just so they don't see the images that you're taking. So okay,
yes.
I'm curious.
And part of that is because you are seeing the images immediately, and so it's still a little bit of that element of surprise instead of you being right there and knowing what's been shot. It's not that we don't want you there. Even though that's cute and spontaneous, we'll say no to that one. Let the tongue out. That's pretty sweet. Oh, I like that. That's really sweet of Eva too. We got the eyeballs there. Oh,
yep,
that's it.
So how many images would you say, Lori, you normally do take in that 30 minutes, and then how long does this initial run through usually take?
The initial run through, normally I'm arrow keying, so it's going a little faster and having to click on everyone. But it takes maybe 3-4 minutes.
Okay.
And then, so we're usually literally, like I have 2 hands on the keyboard, I'm arrowing and numbering. And so, so we're flipping through pretty quickly, and then when we are actually going through individually saying yes, no's, and maybes, that takes another 5-10 minutes. And so we're 15 minutes now into that sales session, and we only have 15 minutes left. That's part of the reason why we have to be so prepared before we get there. Since she's kind of agreeing with me and we're going through these as we like stuff, I think I 3-starred that last one, I think. Let me see. If it'll let me go. Yeah. So I am actually just going to number these as we go and call this an actual first run through. So that one we're not going to like.
Oh,
Sweetie face, we're going to love. This one was really cute too. And what do you think? Maybe or no on that one?
I like the other one before, I think, more.
Okay. So since she hesitated a little bit, I'm going to put that in the maybes because we can use that in an album. How about this one? No? Okay.
I like that one.
That one's sweet.
Yeah.
Darling. As a no. And that was actually one of the ones that I deleted, but we're seeing everything, so since it came straight in. That's pretty sweet too. Yeah. Yes. And I wouldn't even tell Mom this because she's not going to remember anyway, but I'm going to edit those shoes out. Those will not be in her final image, especially if it's a wall portrait. So that's one of the things, if she were a little older, I would have just asked her to put her feet down, but it's not worth it when they're this age. You can just edit it out later. What do you think about that?
I love them all. I feel like
it's a good thing. We'll make that a maybe.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty typical reaction.
It is
I love
definitely
them all.
a typical reaction.
So what do you say to that? Okay, we'll tag it and tag it.
Yep, and I just tell her that's normal. You're going to love them all. That's why we have albums and image boxes and multiple image pieces.
yeah, I like it.
Okay, get rid of that one. Oh, she looks too sad in that one. And we do not have Eva looking in that one, so we'll keep going. And we're going to make that one a no as well. That's pretty sweet. Even though Soren's not looking at us, I'm going to make that one a maybe because that would be cute in a book spread.
Oh, I like
That's cute.
Oh.
Even that can be a maybe in a book spread.
That captures him, his personality. I like that.
He's adorable. He was really talking it up too.
Yeah.
Were you able to hear back there?
Yeah, it was fun
pretty
to
cute.
watch. Kind of see how he is.
Yes. And
in front of me.
And and I love that too, that you got to see it. Love that expression on him.
Yeah. I like that one.
Me too. I might have to check those two together later and see which one we like better. That was Let's Get Ready to Jump. And
She looks sad. She wasn't feeling very good.
And I actually really like that look on him. We could even crop that close on him. We're going to get rid of that one too. And that one. That could be a maybe in a book.
Oh, I like that one.
That's sweet. Dancing.
Yeah, I like
for
that she
us.
started twirling for you.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I even like the hands. That doesn't bother me that those are out of focus. That is a sweet face. It's going to be really cute cropped in. And say no to that one. Oh, love it. We'll have to put those two together in a minute. I love this.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Oh, that's really sweet.
She did really well. I was kind of nervous how she would do.
That'll be a no. And I actually remember deleting that one as well, editing that out. I really love those other expressions.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the maybes in case we need it, but say no to that one. I thought that was pretty cute. And that one's out of focus. That can be a maybe. That too. And you know, that again, I'm going to tell her I can see that as a little series in an album because I want her to think about that too. You know, these three, seeing those together.
Yeah, he loves showing people's pockets, so that's special
Those
to us.
pockets are awesome. Those pockets are great. I asked him if they had those in my size, and he said, no, just for boys.
No, of course.
All right, so we're moving through here, and this was an unexpected little surprise that Eva gave us. I was just photographing Soren, and she came and sat down, and that last one was really cute. That one's cute to her. And
Oh, I like that.
that's cute.
Lori, I've noticed in both of these that you are describing some of the things that have happened during the shoot to the mom since they weren't there. And I think that, I don't know, I like that. How does that feel for you, Lene? When she's saying, oh,
it feels
she did
good.
that.
Yeah, I like hearing that. I mean, even though I was kind of watching in the back, I couldn't necessarily hear everything either. So it's just fun to know how your kids are too with other people, and then seeing you capture that. And,
Right.
So yeah, I like hearing how they were.
All right, so we got through those, and we're going to go back to these favorites. Let's see if this worked this time. These should be our no's. Looks like it happened. Those are our maybes. And those should be our yeses. All right, I think we did it. Awesome. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll look at this grouping of the four of them together, and we'll try to get these narrowed down to a favorite. And let's just make that a little bigger. And it's cropping it for me like in this space, so it's not, you know, typically, but at least we can see them a little closer. They're all pretty darn cute.
Do you want me to choose, or
Yeah,
choose like a
let's
favorite one?
select
Is that
a favorite.
what you're kind of hoping for?
These two are so close, but I think
Yeah.
Soren's got a little bit more of a smile on this one. This one's different enough. You could keep that one too.
Yeah, I think I'm drawn to the first one for some.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just because she seems a little more.
Okay.
And you can see their hands being held maybe a little more.
Yeah, that's really cute. You're right. So I'm going to make this one and this one a maybe. Are you changing your mind?
No,
Okay.
no, sorry, no.
I heard that.
Oh, sorry.
And so, and I'm going to leave that one because that one's different enough.
Yeah.
So we'll go back now, and then let's look at these 3 of them. I guess there's 4. Whoops. On the floor there.
Yeah,
Try that one.
I think that one, yeah, definitely.
And let's go. Yeah, that's the sweetest face. I love it. Look at that.
Love it.
So cute. The other thing that I'm going to do is take this pole out, the whatever you call that pipe thing. So that'll be gone.
Okay.
Do you tell that? To
No, because she's not thinking about it at all. So I'm not even going to mention it. If she mentioned it to me, then sure, I'll tell her absolutely that'll be gone. Okay. But that is such a, like 2 seconds in Photoshop with content aware that it'll be gone. I don't want that on her wall.
Yeah, but clients just don't think of it.
They don't
We're
care.
just photographers, so we just think of that.
Yep.
So I was also, may I ask one question? When she chooses the picture that you don't like, what happens if they're going for even they decide to make the wall portrait one? I guess and it's not the one that you think doesn't bother you. Doesn't bother you because that's the one she likes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. So, and obviously, if I'm going to take that pipe out, I'm going to take this out, you know. But all she is looking at are her kids' faces. She doesn't care about anything else. She's not going to say, oh, can you lighten that up a little bit? She's not going to say, you know, do this, do that. She cares about Soren and Eva and how happy it makes her to see them happy.
That's such an important thing to remember, I think, because we get so caught up in all the technical aspects and perfection of it. That's great.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, their faces, exactly.
That's pretty darn sweet. Love that. So is that. And what do you think about adding this one to the maybes?
Yeah.
You probably won't make that a main image. But that would be great in a book. So, okay, that's what this light traded to me before was me back where I was. So let's look at these 2 together.
I don't know. Which one?
I kind of almost like the one where she's looking off. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, we'll keep that one where it is. We'll put that one in the maybes if we need it. And then we've got a couple of really sweet ones of her here. Let's just look at these close-up faces and choose a favorite there.
I like the bottom one.
This
bottom
one?
right,
I do too.
definitely.
Every one of these other ones can be put in a maybe category again because those really should be used somewhere.
Yeah,
I
love that one.
I also think, you know, just thinking about those, let's go back to this maybe. You know, even doing a little series of her sweet face would be really cute somewhere.
Okay.
So let's go back to our favorites. And of Soren, just him, I think these are the 3. Got it down to 3. And of course, we'll crop that so it's just him. And same with this one. But there's so much personality going on there. Okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking this looks like school picture. You know, and so I want to point out the personality that's in the other image, but she's already going to agree with that. Okay, so we've got it down pretty good here to our favorite favorites, and we may need to, let me look at just these 2. We got Dimple. Cute, cute. Either of those you want to put in the maybes, or are those still yeses?
We could put them in the maybe. I mean, yes to frame, is that kind of our goal? This one.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we could put these in the maybes now, having seen the other.
Great. All right, so we'll go back here. So we've got those narrowed down pretty well. You know, this one, I'm gonna let her leave in the yeses just because it would be great on an M table in a room where she's got something else of her sweet face looking right at us, and then you put the hands in the face on an end table. So, so I love that, and I would tell you that as well. So if we're looking at kind of that main portrait for the stairs, we wanna have one of the two of them together. So let's just look at everything we've got of both of them. And we've got it narrowed down to these 6. So we'll take those and back into our comparison view.
And does it matter which way they're...
We can actually flip that either direction. Okay. I think I showed it to you vertically, but it could go either way.
Okay. I didn't. These are my hard. I'd probably say the first one or the third one, I think.
Okay, I'm going to agree with you. I love this one. But let's look at those two together. 85 and 51. So we're going to take those so we can see them a little closer. And we'll bring that one up again.
I think I just like it more, maybe fuller in the frame for on the
I agree with
up
you.
on that wall.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's going to be our main one of the two of them together, and then as far as Eva by herself, let's look at that one, and that one, and that one. We ended up with quite a few of her just by herself. Yeah. Are you still loving this one?
Yeah, I'm drawn right to that one.
I think so too. That's pretty sweet. And then we know we've loved that one of Soren. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and to your wall that we.
I didn't know this would be shown, so I don't know if there's like junk on the floor, so I have to. Sorry. Get a view of my house.
So there we are. I did show it to you vertically, but we'll just flip it.
So Lori, we have a question. Natsky5 wants to know, do you shoot a certain amount of photos, landscape, and then portrait to suit frames, or?
I mean, it would be nice if I could make myself think that way throughout the session. That'd be ideal. But no, I'm really just shooting for and I shoot pretty tight, but I just want to shoot for faces and expression, and so it just depends on if I'm backing up a little bit because they're standing up, then I'm going to shoot vertical. If I'm coming in tighter, I'm going to go back horizontal. Yeah, it'd be great. In a perfect world, yes. And you'll see, well, the kids are young tomorrow too. Typically, if I'm doing a family portrait session and we've done design for their living room and their hallway and up the stairs and whatever we're doing, I'm shooting pretty specifically. But it's when you've got older kids that are doing exactly what you've got composed in your head. You know, with little kids, you just have to go with the flow, and when we get here, I can tell her those images can be flipped, they can be turned, we can do whatever we want with them. So there we've got that center image, and I'm going to save that. And we're going to go back, and then we're going to put one of each of them here, and we chose this one of Eva, way cute. And then we're going to grab this one. Whoopsie. No, I edited that one too. And then we're going to grab Soren. And I'm going to go back and look. And if I need to, I am going to need to crop her a little tighter in there. Whoops. Keep grabbing the wrong image. So we'll save him. Okay, I'm going to click out of that. Now click back. Let's grab Eva. Right there. And we're going to lose her hands now, which are really sweet, but so is her face. And I'd rather have them cropped proportionately. And so that is, and I will, on something like that, I'll ask her because the hands were something we discussed. And I'll tell her why I would like to see it cropped a little tighter. If it's something that she can't live without, then I'm going to get over myself and let them not be cropped proportionately. So how do you feel about that?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Cropped a little tighter?
Yeah.
Okay. And then are you thinking you want to continue this up the stairs? You want to look for a third one of the two of them together?
Yeah, I like adding maybe one more.
Okay. And I'm actually even thinking, this looks like a bigger frame. Okay, we'll figure that out later, but I'm thinking if we're going to add it, I would like to see this as your main composition and then bring in this third one of the two of them. So let's take this one in. It made it smaller. All right, we're gonna look for that second one that we loved. And even, I mean, kissing would be cute in there. And let's see. Let's just try that as we float through. That's pretty cute. Oh, you like this standing up one. Let's just see what that looks like cropped square. And if it doesn't work square, then this is a great, with it going up the stairs and having different sizes is a perfect place to put something that's a little bit more, I don't want to lose her feet. Let me go back down one more. Let's save that and go back. And that's pretty cute.
Yeah, I like it.
So what do you think about, we could take this vertical if you want to go for more of a long vertical frame, or we can leave it just like it is.
Can we see what it looks like vertical?
Yep, and for that, very easy. We'll just go back here into our frame collections, and we're just going to choose our size. She's got, this is a 10 by 10, and so I'm going to want to go with, you know, like an 8 by 10 or an 8 by 12. We'll see what that looks like. Save. And that's what that looks like vertical.
I actually like the vertical. I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you have?
Yeah, I like having a
Breaks it up
variety
a little
too of the sizes. So, and then what we'd probably do is also with this, I'm going to want to probably bring in a third color or another tone of this green, so that we don't have three black or brown frames and then the one green. And so, what other tones are in that room? We've got the brown and the olive.
I don't know if this makes things more difficult, but I actually, so right to the left of the door, I had stopped painting.
Okay.
So everything's gray to that side. So it's supposed to, at some point, continue gray.
Okay.
As you can see, it's a huge wall to have to paint. So, so I guess everything in the other room is gray and blues.
So now is this room kind of a green color, or is it
like
yellow?
It's like a brownish,
like mustardy?
Like a typical, I don't know,
taupe.
Is it taupe? Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of like a.
But we're thinking gray. Well, I love brown and gray. I even have it on. And so I love brown and gray together, and I have a really chocolate brown wall in my house that I have gray frames on. And so if you're cool with that, we can kind of go with a darker gray tone on this and maybe put the brown back in the middle. So let's just check that out. Molding color, and we'll just go with, let's see what we can find here. Probably, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
And then we'll go to our trim color, and let's make that the brown.
Okay.
And it does not show up as brown as it is in real life.
Okay.
But this is the same color as that frame that we put on the wall originally.
Okay.
So we'll see what that looks like together. And here we have that.
I like that.
So, and I think that gray even matches that trim a little bit better. So, so yeah, how you feeling about that?
Yeah, I love it. Looks good.
All right. So now what we've done is we've actually grown this package by another frame. And so what I'll be doing do any of you guys still have your order forms in your thing? I've got them out in the hallway and forgot again to bring one in. You all had them in your loose sheets. Yes. So I'll take that. And you're good. So, and of course I don't have a pen either. I'll make sure you get another one of these, Kristen.
Thanks.
All right. So what I would actually do with this is I would write down that she's going to do package C, and then we're going to do an add-on of one 10 by 10 frame. And to get the price for that, I'm just going to click on this again and go, oh, and look, it just put that frame there. I don't know what's all jigged up with this thing. But it's going to be about the same. I can roll over here and I can get the price. That's going to be for the print and the frame. So we've already got it all rolled in there. So I'll write that down. And most of these moms have either worked with a framer or worked with an interior designer, or, you know, and they know the cost of framing and of getting something done for their home. So nobody's really shocked when they see a, you know, $200 price for a frame and a print. It's not an awful thing. Don't be afraid of it.
Well, it's nice to do it all right here too, because I know sometimes I've gotten prints of my kids, and then 2 months later I'm at Artco trying to find a frame. You know, it just, I feel like it takes such a longer process. So it's nice just to have it all done and see it on the wall too. That's so helpful.
And that's a really good point, and one of the things that we'll actually tell people is, you know, you're going to get everything ready to hang. So you're not going to slide it under your bed or in a drawer, and that really is what happens a lot of times. So we've chosen those. We're going to pretend like this all happened perfectly. And then we need to choose 2 outtakes at least for your smaller prints. So we've got a couple things. And do you think those will go kind of in that same room? Or are you thinking the same colors, or will they go in the kids' rooms?
No, they'll probably go in that same, I have an empty coffee table right next.
Perfect.
And a side table in that next room, so.
Yeah. All right. So what we'll do is we'll go and you know what, I'm gonna, even though that didn't save that last one, I'm gonna go ahead and save this home view so we don't lose it. And there it is. So we're gonna go now back into projects. And I'm just going to give her just put a 5x7 frame up here to work with. And there we go. And that way you can kind of see what that'll look like frame too. Yeah. And you're thinking you want to go like with the brown or something like that. And let's put a little trim on there. And actually, those don't come with trims. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay. So now we'll go back to our images, and let's just throw in a couple of these. Like, I love that of them looking at each other, which would be great since we've got the one of them standing on the, you know, on that grouping. This one's super cute too.
I like that one.
Which one do you think you like better of those two?
I like that one.
Like that one better? And then
her hands on her face. I love that as something at some point framed.
Okay.
I like that one a lot.
So that one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start writing down numbers now, and I'm just going to put on here, you know, 537, and I'll say hands on face, and make a little note. And she's going to see me do that, so she knows that I'm, you know, remembering what we're talking about. We can do this, and we'll want to switch the orientation of the frame. Cute. So definitely would make a cute little side image. What about this one? You know, we talked about that kind of being his thing. Let's switch this frame back and look at that.
Yeah, I like that. I like what you were saying about a series. Is that something for a book?
We can do that in a book. We can do that on the wall. We've got a desk strip that we can do. That's really fun a lot of times for an office space or even coffee table, like you said, where there's multiple images together. That can even be available with, and typically we're doing the desk ones with just a traditional frame, but I can show you with, just right here real quick, instead of going out of this. Let's look at, for instance, and we've got these in all different configurations, but since we're talking about this, you could do a, you know, standing and looking at each other, and then we'll find a third one, like this one where they're starting to dance. So that would be a really cute series.
Yeah.
And again, you guys all know, I'm going to lighten this up. This is going to look exactly like this image on the right, but she's not even, she doesn't care. She's not thinking about it. So there's no reason to second guess yourself, I guess, when you're putting things in. I know a lot of times And I did it too for a long time. I did it where I'd say, oh, don't worry about this and don't worry about that. I'll take care of this, you know, and we get so bogged down on that. And then I'm forcing her to start looking at this stuff instead of just letting her enjoy the images and the process, you know. And it is part of that whole, sometimes we have to get over ourselves and put all the, you know, I need to be thinking about her and what's best for her and not my ego. And so, you know, so thinking that through and just letting her enjoy that. So what do you think? If you did something like that, would that be for the wall or for a desk?
I'd probably hang it. I just don't have a lot of wall space left. Does it, so with the desk, does it have the thing that
It has
pops?
an easel back,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that could definitely be a desk one then.
Okay.
I like that.
So we're going to add desk strip to that. And with this, I don't even have to write down numbers because I'm just going to say save project. So that's going to be there. That's one of the things that really helps streamline the process. I can make that, you know, just happen really quickly. And I wrote down desk strip, so we've got a price with it, but I don't have to worry about getting focused on trying to find the numbers. Yes, Chip?
Would you tell her right then how much it costs? That was like how
This
much?
is not going to be right because this one is a very large one for the wall.
Okay.
So, but yes, I've got actual pricing for storyboards and for desk strips in the menu.
Because right now you're upselling. I mean, you're adding things to the package. So are they starting to get kind of like, oh, well,
Well, she
don't
hasn't
know.
yet. She hasn't told me to stop yet, so I'm
Yeah,
not.
so you're just, but as you're going, that's when you're going to keep saying, or if she doesn't ask how much it is, do you just wait till it's order form time, or do you tell her, okay, now that's that?
She's actually seeing me write stuff down.
Oh, she's seeing the numbers.
And I mean, she's not literally, but my client would be. I'd be
seeing the
writing,
numbers.
that's kind of the point of me for the order form. To me, that's a softer number than seeing a hard invoice.
Yeah. Okay.
For some people, it's totally different. Some people like the high tech and they'd rather have it all right there. But and it's the way I was raised, you know? I mean, seriously, it's a Tim Kelly thing. When I studied with him, it was handwrite your order forms with your client, and it's just more of a hands-on, touchy-feely kind of thing than the hardcore numbers in front of you, you know? Okay. But they are seeing me write as I go. I'm not totaling yet. But
she's saying, okay,
she can
that's
start
$200
going,
more.
okay, I think I'm over, you know,
My budget. Okay.
spending. And the other thing is too is if my first reaction when somebody says that is, you know, don't worry about anything. If we're stretching you a little bit, I can put a payment plan together for you. So I definitely want you to get what you want. So, you know, don't be worried about that at all. We certainly can stop if you want to stop. But, you know, but I'm going to give them some options, and that's going to be my first reaction. And again, it's about her. You know, I'm not hard selling her, and hopefully if I said that, you wouldn't feel like you were being sold. But it's, you know, it's giving them that option to move on. And even if she's starting to feel like, oh gosh, my husband's going to kill me, you know, I can say, you know what, I really want you to get what you want, you know, let's surprise him. And, you know, if you need a payment plan, I can definitely help you out with that. But, you know, let's.
Do you have many wives say that? Like, okay, because I've heard some photographers say get them to bring their husbands at the same time because the objection will often be, oh, I have to talk to my husband.
Yeah.
So
With portrait events, it's a completely different mindset.
Well, because they already know, I guess.
Well, all of my clients already know.
Yeah.
But
okay.
with a family portrait sale, and I'll tell you exactly how I do it. I'm asking them on the very first phone call, I'm letting them know, and I'm sorry you have to sit through this, but I'm letting them know and that about a week after your session, we're going to bring you back to the studio so that you can view and order your images. I would really like to go ahead and make that appointment right now so that we can get it in the calendar. And right at that time, Mom's going to say to me, you mean I have to come back and order everything, or I have to order everything that day? Are you kidding? I can't make those decisions. You know, those things are going to come out then.
Okay.
And that's my time to be able to, you know, say, you know what, I'm going to hold your hand through the whole entire process. And by the time you get there, you're going to be so comfortable with your decisions. And if I haven't yet, that's the time that I can say, I'm going to be asking you to take some images of your walls. We're going to walk them through that process. So we're really talking about taking it to the next level. I'm also going to ask her at that time, we're going to schedule a time that works for you, and as we're scheduling this, is this something that you think you'd like your husband to be present for? And she's going to say, absolutely not. I do not want him there. Or she's going to say, yeah, I think he better be there. And either way, I tell her, you know what, most moms feel that way. It does not matter what she says, because if she hesitates, she'll hesitate in the sales room if he's not there. If she absolutely has to have him there, we're going to make a time for him to, and she is right. He needs to be there. If she says absolutely not, he does not need to know anything about how much this costs or what I'm doing, then I'm going to say, great, let's surprise him. And we'll make, and most moms feel that way. You know, I always tell them they're right, and they are, because it's right for them. Okay. So, you know, and if dad needs to be there, I want him there. If she says yes or she hesitates, my next question is going to be, okay, great, we're going to set up a time that works for both of you guys, and we're going to get that scheduled, and then I'm going to ask her, you know, since your husband is going to come along, how can I help you prepare him? And that is it. That's in our script. That's what we ask, because dads do need to be prepared. If they come along for the session, it's very easy. They're in the pocket.
They're invested.
Yes, and because they are, all dads that end up at a photography session really adore their children. They do. And you know, if you're telling that and what you see in that, and it doesn't even matter when you've got a 23-year-old, and I'm telling Ernie, that girl, she loves her daddy. He wants to make sure that's all I see. He's turning red. Handing out the hundreds. But you know, but he wants to make sure that's a part of his session, and then he wants to see that, and he has to have that. Dads are easy if they're at the session. If they're not at the session, I need to ask her, how can I help you prepare him? Because we're going to have to do a little work. So, and then she's going to tell me either my husband's a pushover, he's going to love them, he's going to cry, or she's going to say he's going to flip out. You know, I mean, whatever she says, I'm going to work with her and, you know, ask him what he wants to drink when he gets there. You know, whatever it takes, we're going to make it happen. So another thing, you know, if we've got a mom who the dad is the decision maker, which honestly doesn't happen a whole lot anymore. But if dad really is the decision maker on the money and he needs to be there, and I've talked to mom and she says we're probably going to have a hard time, he's not going to like this pricing. I will start asking her questions about dad. You know, well, tell me what he's into. Is he a golfer? Does he like cars? You know, whatever it is. Because men all have something that's completely tied to their ego, and once you can stroke that ego a little bit, you know, all the other issues kind of go away. Right, Ernie?
Ernie is not ego-y at all.
But, you know, if your wife told me, you know, well, Ernie used to be a chef. He's an amazing chef. He still does it at home for us, you know. I mean, I could start asking you questions about that, and I'm genuinely interested in you, and you get to talking about you, and you like talking about you, and all men do. I mean, we all do. I mean, it's just a fact of life.
Ernie hadn't been here.
He's very humble. I'm very impressed.
No, Ernie's awesome. That's why we can pick on him a little bit. But you know, you get the stick. You know, you got to kind of roll with whatever the situation of the client is, and we definitely want what's best for her. I mean, I would never want something to. I would never want her to leave and feel like, what have I just done? You know, I want her to be able to enjoy what she has in her home every single day. And if you know, I mean, just turn around and look at this. And if these were your children, and this is what you got to look at every day, I mean, that would make you happy, right? Oh, yeah. So we want her to be happy. We want her to feel that way. And, you know, seeing things put together beautifully and, you know, suggested beautifully, all those things they help through the process. So. What's up over there?
Nothing at all. We're just checking out questions.
Okay. So, Linnea, are you interested in an album? Or were you thinking that you might want to do that, or an image box to complete the session?
I'm definitely interested. Now, is this something, do you ever have clients that like to just kind of look back over the images and then order things later, or do you do things?
Well, we do get everything done right here, so we want to help you through, and that's part of streamlining the whole process so that you get your images on time. And but we can go back through and flip through anything and see if there's just something you missed. If there's one or two that you missed, you might order another small print, and we do have gift collections available. If there's several that you missed, then you might want to consider an album or an image box. Even down to, you know, these cute little accordion books, you know, super fun, and you can just get a selection of images in there, usually about 10. So those are fun.
And the photo box, so it's obviously a box, but inside is it?
Yep, there are actual prints inside. And so each size comes with 10 mounted prints. And so some people choose to hang these in different places in the house or put them on a desk, or actually just put them in an easel right beside the box. So there's lots of ways that you can use something like
beautiful. That's really well done. And then price-wise?
Handing them a product is always a great thing to do.
What's the difference price-wise between a box and an album?
They're actually pretty similar. And let me just find that for you in here. I'm not usually the one doing this, so I don't even know. I kind of have an idea, but it's okay too to just say, you know, those are right here. I'll show you that, and then you can flip through some other things too, because we're seeing now the tabletop frames. We're seeing an album, and we also have a bonus schedule that we haven't even discussed. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But when they are at a certain point and I'm adding up, I'll let them know, you know, you have reached our 960 level, or you have reached our 1600 level, wherever she is. And, you know, where you are, you're going to get 30% off of anything additional that's on our bonus schedule. And that's going to be a CD slideshow, any of our gift collections, which are just, you know, loose prints, and the digital collection, which we all talked about yesterday, but it's actual digital files that you'll have access to print up to 8x10. You can do the accordion albums at 30% off, so if you wanted to add one of those. Any of our greeting cards and boutique items like the photo jewelry, and any additional frames that you got, you would get 30% off of, any of the tabletop frames. So, and again, we'll go through that more tomorrow, but if she chose right now, I have to have an image box in here. If she chose right now to add, here they are, add an accordion album, she'd get 30% off. Okay, so the 8x8 album, which is this one is going to be $680, and then this one is our little 5x5 book. This one's $380.
Oh, and it's really thick pages too. That's nice.
So, and the 5x7 image box is actually the same. Those either are $680, so it's whichever you like better.
Okay. Can I see the little one?
Yep.
I like the little one, I think, because it's just, I'd probably take it places too. So I like having maybe a smaller one. I would do a smaller one of that.
Okay, great. So, you know, so you can see when everything's planned, when you've done the preparation, when we've made the suggestions beforehand, it really does click along pretty quickly, even with the glitches and the, you know, stopping to chat about things. So
I'd love to know, Linnea, your experience, your reaction to using this software, having Lori walk you through this software versus any previous experience you may have had, because I think it's, for photographers, it's very eye-opening to see you react in such a way, and so I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I'm the type of person that loves to have all my options laid out in front of me and then choose. So in some ways, it's just, I'd almost sit down for another hour and just say like, hey, can I really see every single product? But kind of also going into it, having gotten the email with what our wall looks like with the frames, that was definitely helpful to know ahead of time what my options were as well. But I love being able to see the colors and just the different, I'm such a visual, like this is great, this is right up my alley. I've never really had professional pictures really ever done before. We did last summer with my kids, but that was just more of a CD of images and then a metal print is what was given. And I have never printed those and framed them and taken, you know, and so, and that's no, you know, that's no diss to the other.
That was not planned.
You know, that's no diss to the other photographer whatsoever. She just, you know, didn't offer that. So like we talked about the whole husband aspect. My husband understands, I think he has a good concept of how much things cost, and it can be a little more pricey. But because we've never really framed anything or gone, he's okay with it, you know, and I think he trusts that I'm not going to go crazy.
And I will tell you too that if I had the conversation with Linnea before and she had told me, you know what, I really would love to see everything you have to offer. I love seeing these 4 packages, but I mean, this has given me all kinds of ideas, and you know, she's going to be a regular studio client. So I'll let her go through this process of doing the real kids event, but then I'm going to tell her, you know what, let's plan a family session as well. And I even, with that type of client, would bring her into the studio at no extra charge for a family session and let her do that, because I know that's going to be to result in that lifetime client. That is really what I want. So, you know, so these kind of things, and I told you guys yesterday or today, I don't remember when, but usually I have about one of those clients in each, one or two in each event that really want to go further. They either want multiple collections or they want bigger than I'm giving them access to, have bigger space, and so that's great. She would be one of those people. But typically they're going through and they, you know, like both of the girls have said, we really appreciate being able to see things. We appreciate having the suggestions, being able to see it finished. You know, all those things are real positives for them. Okay. Well, thank you, thank you. Your
Thank
kids
you.
were great.
I'm glad they behaved for you.
That was fun.
Beautiful
All right, so are
images.
we gonna
Yeah, I
clap
think
away?
we're
Thank you
good,
so
yeah.
much. We have about 15 minutes left today, so thank you again.
Thank you.
So, and we'll take some questions.
Oh, okay. You want me to-
Thank you.
All right, so we can start here in the audience.
I'm just curious about your books and products. Do you, let's say if she chooses the book, do you have like a minimum pages? What if she wants to add some pages? What is the cost? How does it work?
With all of our books, I don't ever put a number to them, and the reason is because I don't want them sitting and choosing 10 images or 15 images or whatever. And again, that's just my personal thing. Part of it is with the events to get through quickly. I'm going to tell them if they choose an album, and I didn't even say it to her, but I'll tell her, you know, I like this little book. She's not even thinking about the images. She already knows she likes the images. And so now she likes the little book. So I'm going to tell her, you know, great, as we go through and I design the album, your yeses will be the main images in the album, in the book. Your maybes will fill in where I need them to tell the story and do those little series that we talked about, and the no's won't be included. Is that okay? And they always say, yes, that's okay, you know. And really it's the photographer that is giving that option to the client to actually sit there and choose images and narrow down and add pages and all that. That's what's bogging things down. It's not that they really even want to or care. We're just giving them the option to. And so by taking that away, and we do that in our studio, I do that in my weddings. I mean, it doesn't matter what level. If they're paying $8,500 for a wedding album, it's still the same process. They are not telling me I want this, 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 and this, or on these pages or any of that stuff. And so I've priced all of our albums, whether it's a one this big or an album or a senior album, whatever it is, I've priced them so that I can add all the images that I need to complete the story. So some of them are a little smaller, some of them are a little bigger, and that's okay.
And we're going to be going further into packaging and pricing tomorrow, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
big
Tomorrow
section
we're
on
going to
that.
be heavy on pricing and sales.
Cheer goes on.
And I know that's everybody, you know, and no matter what level you are at in your life cycle of being in business, it's everybody's struggle is, I don't want to be a salesman. I don't know how to price my product. I don't believe in myself enough to price my product. You know, we all go through those stages. I've been through every one of those stages. And we all were talking at lunch today about, you know, the fact that, you know, we all get on other photographers, see what they're doing and go, oh, I'm crap. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. And, you know, we all do it. And it doesn't matter where you are on the, you know, been in business for 15 years, guilty, you know, and it just happens. But it's one of those processes that really, if you can learn to put the focus on the other person and not on, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to, it's not about me. It is about the person that I'm working with and what's best for her. And so, and yes, that turns into what's best for my business, thankfully. But if we work and you know, work with that person, and it's like that in any business, you guys, and we have to think about it like that. We're not just photographers, we're business owners. And no matter what business you're in, the person that succeeds is the one that is making those suggestions that are right for the client. They're customizing their product, they're making it relationship-based, you know, all those things. Those are the people that we want to buy from, those are the people that we want to refer people to. And so why would we not be that same type of business?
I find that they're just relieved that you made the choices for the photo book for them, because I say to them, okay, I know you're as busy as I am. I'm just going to choose the best images, and I'll let you proof it before I print it, and let me know if you love it. And then if you love it, then we're good to go. And they're just like, yeah, that's a great, thanks for making those choices. Because making those choices is stressful, it's tiring, we're busy. Oh, just do it for me. Because they would choose the same ones we're going to choose. They pretty much, 98% of the images that we choose would probably be the ones that they've chosen.
Yep.
Okay, Lori, since we watched you, do the shoot and then do the sell session, this seems to make sense to me. Lauren Murray wants to know, if you're a one-man show, does this whole process work successfully? And would you just set like later times essentially?
Yeah, if I was doing it all by myself, I would either shoot and then sell each client, so I'd schedule them an hour apart, or which actually would work pretty well, because you're shooting, as you saw, it's never going to go like 40 minutes or whatever. I'm typically really am shooting 10, 15 minutes, 20 at the most. And so shooting and selling, great. The other option, and I've done this before, is to do your sessions on, say, a Thursday, all day Thursday, and then go back the next week, and you give people the exact same time that they had for their session. So if they came for a 10 o'clock session, they're going to come next week at 10 o'clock for their sale. And it works just fine to do it that way. The problem, again, is with us, because what happens is then we go home and open up every single one of those images. And that's where the profitability goes like this. And so if you can do it, then great. Go back the next week, show them their images, or even the next day if you could get people to come right back. The issue is always is that it's an event. We want to keep it very profitable, and doing it all on the same day is one of those things that helps it be profitable.
We have more questions, of course, and one from Michelle from Oklahoma is, there's some questions about preview itself. Mm-hmm. And as you enlarge the images to fit that frame opening, how is that recorded and printed? Does preview actually send the print order so that zoom size so it fits that way and is shown the best?
You can do that. I don't currently use that, and right now they're not. It's not a complete production module, and so it's not doing anything to your original image if that's what's being asked. So I am just cropping for viewing sake, and then I'm reopening those images. I'm opening up the raw files of the ordered images only to process when I get back to the studio.
Great.
Okay, Lori Peanut would like to know if you offer to hang your client's artwork. Is that or is that a separate charge?
Lori
Peanut.
Well, Peanut. Yes, we actually do offer that as a service. I don't typically on the events, but our regular studio clients, and you certainly could with the events, but then you're going to 10 different people. One of the things, and I'll just mention this, when this all started, I had been doing charity events kind of the same way for many, many years. And when the first year I did a charity event in the studio, I photographed and sold. I did it all right then, and it was about 2001. So it was early on with me even being digital. I did not know what I was doing, and images even worse than you saw today. So, it was a brave thing, to shoot and sell. But we did it because I knew we had to do this kind of rapid fire thing. So it happened, and we had really good averages. And so in my mind, I thought, wow, we had great averages with this. If I can get them all back into the studio, I'm going to make so much more money if I can sit down with these people. Well, I typically shoot 6 sessions a week. And with our Little Angels charity events, I'm photographing 50, 60 kids. So you can imagine what happened when I was trying to schedule all these people to come back into the studio, into this process that normally would take me many months to bring 60 people back into the studio for a sale. And it was bad. We did not call it Angel Place. It was a bad thing, it was chaotic for a very long time. and we didn't get the workflow done. It was a mess. So the third year I did it, I said, forget that, I'm putting all these images online. And a lot of the people were repeat for the charity event, and I thought, they already know our process, they know what to do, I'm gonna throw them online. Sales died, and I mean completely. So, of course, the fourth year we went back to shooting and selling. And when you do it a few times and you realize that, just like here, they don't care that one's a little darker, they don't care that you got a light box, light thing in the background, you know, I mean, they're not thinking about those things. And you have to do it a few times before that really kicks in that, you know, it's going to be okay. And they trust you. They know the images are going to end up beautiful on their wall. So you kind of get over it. However, one of the things, back to the original question, how did I get off on that? To offer to hang portraits in the home, that's why. It's because doing 10 of them, delivering 10 sessions and hanging 10 sessions would be a lot of work. So you'd have to build that into your pricing in some way, or offer it as an additional service that you could do it, but you would charge for it. With the studio sessions that are averaging, you know, $3,000 to $7,000, I am happy to go and hang their portraits for them. The one thing that I suggest to people is if you're going to go hang portraits in people's homes, just get a rider on your insurance policy, because that's something that it's a couple bucks a month. It's not a lot. But just call your insurance company and say, you know, hey, I'm going to be going and working in people's homes. I'm going to be hanging art on the walls. I need to be covered if something falls and cracks a table, or, you know, even if you cracked your own frame or something like that, you want to be covered so that you can get that replaced and not have to eat it. So, and it's just for the protection of your client and for yourself to make sure that you add on that coverage. Great.
All right.
There are also, I'll tell you this too, if you have a local frame store or even an interior design shop or, you know, something like that, they often have professional hangers, and that's really what they're called. And you can hire those people to go and hang your display. And what's great about Preview is you can actually print out exactly what you want it to look like. So they get to see it, they take it as a reference, and can hang the portraits.
Okay.
All right. Well, we just have a few minutes left, and as I've been sitting here listening to you, I've been thinking about, okay, if we're at $1,000 average order per mom, this event is going to, $10,000? Is that the average that you earn in revenue?
And that's what they were, and what I feel really comfortable with saying before we even went to this model.
Right.
And now our averages are much higher than that. But
Wow.
It's because we do have a lot of moms. We really only typically have one, maybe two per event that don't buy into a complete package and then add on. Some of the moms, two of the moms is kind of the average, will buy more than one package. So they're buying a grouping for the living room, a grouping for the bedroom, or whatever. Again, if they send me 3 walls, I'm designing 3 walls.
Right.
And so it's much harder for them to say no to 2 than it is to say no to 1. And so design, you know, if they send you, design it all. All they can do is say no. You're making suggestions based on what they sent you. They may be offended if you don't try, you know, if you don't design on something that they sent to you. What, was this wall, this room not good enough?
Right.
You know? And so always do that. And as a result of that, we have moms that do say, yeah, I need to have that here and I need to have this here. And so, they're higher for me now. I'm comfortable with putting out there that if somebody follows this, whether it's, you know, adding on framing or including framing or however you're going to do it, I mean, it's a very comfortable $10,000 day.
Which is incredible.
It is. It's
incredible.
great, and it's great for
doable.
profitability. And again, the workflow is so minimal compared to what we do on a day-to-day basis that it makes it even more profitable, which is why we can charge a little less. You know, I charge 20 to 25% off of my regular studio prices for the events.
The packages are less?
The prints and the packages all together. I don't do packages in the studio, but you know, putting the pricing together and figuring out the packages, it's about 25% less.